understand that, y'all are gonna say, oh, but they had artists who worked on this. Honey, it looks like AI. Hello, fellow Ozians, and welcome to the channel. Today, we are going to be discussing The Wizard of Oz at the Las Vegas Sphere. Now, I held off on talking about this, even though we've had numerous different articles and announcements about this particular project. I really didn't know what to expect until we actually got the thing opening just this past month. And now that I have seen at least little clips from it, I can kind of get an idea of what this thing is and at least give you a couple thoughts. So what is it exactly? At first, I was kind of led to believe that this was going to be a regular old screening of The Wizard of Oz with just new effects. And that's not really what it is. The Wizard of Oz at the Sphere is an experience. The experience is much like an IMAX theater, except on crack, with things actually falling from the sky onto you, wind effects, and other props during the screening of The Wizard of Oz. The thing that, of course, alerted everyone was the use of AI throughout this entire experience. And the one thing that I saw different Oz fans discussing online was the idea that the effects in this new experience were an improvement on the MGM film. It's a very weird thing to say that The Wizard of Oz, which is one of the most influential movies of all time, can somehow be improved. And I wouldn't necessarily say that these different effects improve the film in any way. I would say that they change things. A lot of these new improved effects are just modern day interpretations of how these effects would be done today versus how they were made in 1939. And it just seems weird to say that this is somehow an improvement when the original film was groundbreaking. And in a lot of ways, what they did back in 1939 is still groundbreaking. My dad is an artist, and whenever he is developing a new painting, and he's improving things, he always talks about this one point. And it's right around halfway to 3/4 of the way that you're finishing a painting, where if you make any more improvements to the painting, you're not really improving anything anymore as far as composition or color or lighting. All you're doing is just changing things. And that's kind of how I feel a lot of these different new effects are with The Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. It's just changing things. Is it really improving things? I also kind of find it rich that no one has a problem with changing The Wizard of Oz to the extent that they have changed it, considering that most of the cast and crew who worked on this movie are no longer with us. So it just feels rich that, the people that currently own the movie literally can tell you that you can chop it up, re-edit it, do whatever you want to it, because, well, they're not alive, they can't defend their own work or tell you that you can't change it. It just seems weird, So until someone does a seance and talks to the cast and crew, I'll be waiting to hear an answer. Then we have to discuss the use of AI with this thing. Sure, The Wizard of Oz was a groundbreaking film for special effects. So I can kind of understand the jumping point of saying, oh, well, since that was groundbreaking, why don't we just do more groundbreaking stuff to it? I can understand that mindset, but at the same time, this should scare people. Especially if you're an artist or an up-and-coming artist who wants to work in Hollywood. This project should scare you. Because essentially the entire movie, minus the bulk of the actors of the main cast, are AI. Now, I understand that, y'all are gonna say, oh, but they had artists who worked on this. Honey, it looks like AI. AI looks all the same. I'm sorry. And this is another complaint that I really have with this thing, is that the look of The Wizard of Oz, and really the look of any film that has been filmed on film, has a very distinct look. And there's nothing wrong with the way The Wizard of Oz looks as a movie. Yes, it shows its age. The film's almost 100 years old. Of course, it's going to look old. So it's just weird that in our modern day sensibilities of a quality film means HD visuals. And it's just weird that we have to do this with everything. Surely there are some things where improving the visuals isn't actually going to improve the visuals. There are some aspects of this new version that I don't think are improvements at all. So, for instance, something to point out to you. In the original film, you can't see the sequins on the ruby slippers. The ruby slippers have this really sort of magical, iridescent sparkle to them that makes them look really visually interesting. So in this new AI version, you can see every single strand of sequins on the shoes. It takes away from it. Like, it really takes away from it, and I don't understand why they thought that was an improvement. The original effect that those shoes had by being filmed on film makes them visually look interesting. And it's just sad that, everything has to be super duper detail. I just don't get it. I really don't. I'm waiting for someone in the comments to tell me why this is an improvement. Go ahead. Now we have to get into ticket prices. So I have seen different prices for this thing, and it depends on what seat you have as to how much you have to pay. And some of these tickets are $120 something to $300+ just for one ticket. So this experience has the potential of making $2 million a day. That's if all of the seats are sold out for one day. Which means that over the run of its time being shown at the Sphere, it has the potential of making $1 billion. Alright, so just think about this. We had to basically remake the 1939 film by remastering it. It's not really remastering, it's just completely changing it. Instead of just making a new version with actual new people. But instead we have to go back to 1939. It's so weird to me how clearly there is an interest in Oz. There is. For this thing to be making the amount of money that it is making right now, there is clearly an interest in Oz. But Warner Brothers won't do anything. We won't get a new version. We won't get a version that's closer to the books. Nothing. The only thing that we're going to get is some sort of modern interpretation. I'm sure that someone's going to say I'm a hypocrite for saying that, I want something new. But I want something that's like the books. I feel like enough time has passed for the 1939 film. I recognize it's part of American culture. I recognize that the way that we see Wicked Witches is because of this film. I recognize all of those things. However, it would be nice to have a new, traditional version that is live action of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. And it's just sad that we still can't get that. For some weird reason, even though there is clearly interest, in this story. It still resonates with people. So why do you need to modernize it when a more traditional version still has appeal? I probably won't be going out to see The Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. I have a couple different things outside of Oz that I'm going to be doing within the next year, so I just don't see it playing on the cards of me getting out there. But do you plan on going to see The Wizard of Oz at the Sphere? And if so, why do you want to see it? Let's have a discussion down in the comments section. And if you liked that video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. New videos are posted every 2 weeks on the 15th and last day of each month. And if that doesn't satisfy your appetite for Oz, follow the link in the description to ozclub.org and join the International Wizard of Oz Club. Until next time, bye y'all.